everybody, happy Monday. Welcome to today's video and Blind Woman Reviews. Today, as mentioned last week in my last review, I will be reviewing A Storm of Swords by George R.R. Martin, the third book in the A Song of Ice and Fire series. I'm pretty excited for this one, to review this one. I definitely enjoyed this one a lot. Still only gave it the same rating I gave the last two books, but you know what? It's fine. Speaking of the last two books, if you have not seen my reviews for the last two books, please check out the playlist below. I will be linking that in the description. I think it's a good idea to check those out before this review. Without further ado, let us begin with the description. Here is the third volume in George R.R. Martin's magnificent cycle of novels that includes A Game of Thrones and A Clash of Kings. Together, this series comprises a genuine masterpiece of modern fantasy destined to stand as one of the great achievements of imaginative fiction. Of the five contenders for power, one is dead, another in disfavor, and still the wars rage. Alliances are made and broken. Joffrey sits on the Iron Throne, the uneasy ruler of the Seven Kingdoms. His most bitter rival, Lord Stannis, stands defeated and disgraced, victim of the sorceress who holds him in her evil thrall. Young Robb still rules the north from the fortress of Riverrun. Meanwhile, making her way across a blood-drenched continent is the exiled queen, Daenerys, mistress of the only three dragons left in the world. And as opposing forces maneuver for the final showdown, an army of barbaric wildlings arrives from the outermost limits of civilization, accompanied by a horde of mystical others, a supernatural army of the living dead whose animated corpses are unstoppable. As the future of the land hangs in the balance, no one will rest until the Seven Kingdoms have exploded in a veritable storm of swords. Okay, can I just say that I really like the ending of that description? I wanted to mention, I don't usually read the descriptions before I read it in the videos because I wanted to, well, sometimes I do, but most of the time I actually don't because I usually want it to, like, I don't know, give a bit more of a surprise, I guess, to my reaction. But anyway, a couple of my criticisms so far still remain the same. I think first, the writing is well done. The pacing is great. I like the slow burn and how long it is. I think that the pacing is well. I like the character point of views, and I enjoy how George R.R. Martin sticks to one person of writing, you can say, because he sticks to third person limited, and his chapters basically just change point of views. So I like that because there are books that I have read that change from first person to third person depending on the chapter, and I happen to be really picky about my about how I read, and I don't like books that change from first person to third person. I'm picky about that. I actually have a favorite duology that I gave 4 stars to because of that. I didn't like that it went that way. So when it comes to the writing, so yeah, as you can see, I'm very picky about that. So I like that he sticks to third person limited. My criticism remained the same, in the fact that when it comes to really strong scenes, I have a hard time feeling some of the emotions, and I can't grieve with the characters because George R.R. Martin, when there's like, let's say, a death scene and you're supposed to be grieving for people, we kind of move on too quickly, and I feel like there is no space to grieve the character who possibly died. And it kind of, I don't know, I feel like there should definitely be more emotion. I will say that his characters, however, are still well realized, and I like their um I like their arcs as they went. Also, I want to mention that again, this is like a really big cast of characters, and like in a Game of Thrones, the thing is that because there's a really big cast of characters, there is a there's always going to be a lot of characters that you have to try to figure out, try to remember, but then some of them are not very important, so a lot of the things that he mentions you don't always have to remember. So when reading this, just know that. And one of the things I find that I really like and find interesting in this book is that every book seems to add a new character's point of view. We started with a bunch of characters, and then on a Game of Thrones, in a Clash of Kings, we added Davos or Davos. I'm not sure how you would pronounce it. The audiobook says Davos, the Bard audiobook, but I'm not sure. I read it as Davos, but I'm not sure. And then in a Storm of Swords, actually no, in a Clash of Kings, we also got Theon. We also got those two. In a Storm of Swords, we didn't get Theon's point of view, but we did get Samuel Tarly, which is interesting. So we get point of views added as the books come up, and so you get to follow a bunch of these different storylines, which makes it fun to read for me. I like the amount of court intrigue that's in here. We do spend a lot of time in court because a couple of our characters are in court, so it's the court intrigue is definitely interesting here. I think a little bit more than in a Game of Thrones, because in a Game of Thrones we spent only like we spent some time in court, but not as much. And then when there was the War of Five Kings, now we get to spend time in a couple of different courts. And a Clash of Kings builds up to that, and a Storm of Swords just continues it. So it's highly enjoyable. My favorite arc definitely is Daenerys' arc. I like her arc a lot. I think her arc is wonderful, and I look forward to seeing how much what else happens in her arc. Her arc is really interesting to me. I really like it. I also love that this is a male writer that has well realized women, because I have read some and I've been disappointed. I will be rereading a couple probably for review purposes here. And I have read one specifically that disappointed me to the point where I was just like, I really love the concept of your book, but your female character, you need work. But at least George R.R. Martin definitely has well-realized women, and I appreciate that a lot. So I think that because of that, it's more interesting to know, like, you know, that he has well-realized women, and they are in their own right great female leads. So I appreciate that a lot. Anyway, that's my review for A Storm of Swords. I'm running out of spoiler free for A Song of Ice and Fire, so at some point I might go spoiler, but who knows. We'll see what happens when I read A Feast for Crows. But so far these arcs are definitely growing, and the War of Kings kind of became a little smaller, sort of, but who knows now. Anyway, with that, I will see you next week for a review on Better Together by Christine Riccio, which I, for one, am super excited about, because I think it's a great book, by the way. It was recently released when I recorded it. I am actually recording this the week after. I'm recording this video along with Better Together the week after the release of Better Together along with 2 other books. So for the next 3 weeks, yeah, it'll be interesting reviews for you guys. I think they will basically be all very interesting. So with that, I'll see you next week. Have you read A Storm of Swords? Have you read any A Song of Ice and Fire books? If you have, let me know your thoughts. Make sure you put in spoiler in the comments if you're going to put in spoilers. Let people know. Like, share, subscribe, and so on. If you enjoy my content, I post at least a video a week. If you want to be notified, ring that bell so that you get the notifications when I post a video. I usually post at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 10 p.m. Central, and 8 a.m. Pacific. Yeah, there it is. I'll leave an affiliate link if I can for the A Song of Ice and Fire series if you're interested in the series. If you have a video request or suggestion, feel free to comment down below or message me privately on my socials, which will be linked below in the description. Please be appropriate and polite about it. All inappropriate messages will be ignored. I do reply to all my comments, and so if you have any questions as well, let me know. Again, no inappropriate questions, please. And with that, I will see you next week with my review on Better Together. Bye!